welcome back. So today's video is the highly requested face oil video. Sorry about the plane outside. So by this time, you've probably already heard the buzz around face oils. And if you're anything like me, a year ago, I would have shuddered at the thought of putting an oil on my face, and I'm dry. So if you're normal to oily, I'm sure that idea sounds less than appealing to you. But it turns out that the ingredient that most of us avoid the majority of our life is actually having some amazing results on skin. Oils rich in essential fatty acids are required in our daily diets to keep our bodies healthy, and the same holds true for our skin. When we're young, our skin is at our healthiest. All our skin cells are held together by an abundance of oil. The problem is, though, is as we age, our body produces less and less of that oil. Now it's our job to replace it. It's kind of like if you think of your oil glands as like the fountain of youth. It's almost like that starts to dry up as we get older. So supporting your skin's lipid barrier helps prevent dehydration by keeping in your skin's moisture. So your skin naturally produces oils. So let's backstep and real quick and just talk about the where and why it does that. So your skin is made up of three main layers. I'm going to leave a picture right down here so you can kind of get a visual of what I'm talking about. It's made up of the epidermis, the dermis, and then the hypodermis is way on the bottom here, closest to everything on the inside. Right now I'm going to talk about this middle layer, which is the dermis. In this middle layer lies blood vessels, nerves, hair shafts, as well as sweat and sebaceous glands. Sebaceous glands produce an oily substance called sebum. So the sebum basically migrates and travels up that hair shaft and then creates a protective barrier on the outside of your skin. That protective barrier helps defend your skin against the outside world. So sebum consists of fatty acids, cholesterol, waxes, triglycerides, and a variety of other substances. And a small coating of sebum will effectively protect your skin. Excess of sebum, which is what oily people have, leads to exactly that, over oily skin, and it could result in acne problems. So I know oily people may be really afraid of face oils, but let's just explain why acne happens. So acne occurs when the hair follicle gets clogged. So basically when your skin isn't exfoliated, all those dead skin cells are held on by the oil your skin's producing, and it ends up clogging that hair follicle and forming kind of like a plug. That plug creates an environment where bacteria can grow, and that comes up as an infection. The infection comes out as a pimple, and then inflammation is a result. So as long as you are doing the step that we talked about in my last video, which was the chemical exfoliation, and then you're replacing the oils onto your face, these still will be very beneficial to those of you with oily, acne-prone skin. So in your late 30s, wrinkles suddenly look deeper, and that's because your natural oil production has slowed. The moisture barrier breaks down and skin dries up. Without that lipid barrier, moisture in our skin is able to escape and kind of evaporate, right? It's being kind of like drawn out. And then that causes our skin to be dehydrated. So I actually took this grape out of the fridge this morning to kind of illustrate what I'm talking about. I'm going to try to zoom in so you can see it up close. So see how this is kind of looking puckered? It's lost its firmness. It's not, it just looks kind of beat up. Now, here's a grape I just took out of the fridge. It's nice and tight and plump, where this one, because it's been outside and there's obviously warmth in the air and other things, it's drawing the moisture out of this grape, and it's making it look wrinkled. And where these grapes are off the same vine, it's the exact same age, but this one is losing its moisture, and that is very much what happens to your skin. Then oxidation occurs. Oxidation is tissue decay, and that happens as your cells are metabolized by oxygen. An apple turning brown, steel, rusting, skin showing signs of hyperpigmentation and sun damage, those are all signs of oxidation. Well, oxidation is natural and vital to the turning over of cells. About 1 to 2% 50% of cells are damaged in this process, and they turn into free radicals. So you hear a lot about free radicals, but I think a lot of people, if I ask them, it's like, what is a free radical? So what are they and how can we stop them? So free radicals are unstable molecular particles, and they can trigger a cascade of molecular instability. On your skin, that's going to translate into progressively worsening lines, wrinkles, age spots, and tissue laxity. Now that sounds terrifying, how do we stop it? The answer is antioxidants, right? Anti-oxidation, the reverse of oxidation. You hear a lot about antioxidants in food and supplements and in products, but again, what is an antioxidant? What does it do? So an antioxidant is a substance such as vitamin C or vitamin E that removes potentially damaging oxidizing agents. They do that by neutralizing and kind of mopping up those free radicals on your skin. Antioxidants can be delivered to the skin in one of two ways. One of which is by ingesting them in the form of supplements or very leafy greens or very bright berries. A good rule of thumb is the brighter the color, the more rich in antioxidants it's going to be. And second is topically, and that's how we're going to discuss today, because that's something that you can just think of it as on top, right? Topically on top of your skin. The best face oils are products made of pure oil and other plant-based ingredients, making them a rich source of antioxidants. If the product combines oils with synthetic fillers, it makes them a lot less effective. So make sure you check the ingredients. Typically the cheaper an oil is, that means the more fillers they have in it, because just like fresh pressed juice, when you buy olive oil, those jugs are pretty expensive. You can kind of compare it like that. The more expensive the oil, the more pure it is, the better the taste, typically. So it's going to be the same with face oils. So what does a face oil do that a moisturizer won't? Most creams contain a little oil, but not enough to make a significant difference in the water loss of your skin. Because oils are lipophilic, which means fat-loving, they pass through the lipid layer of your skin a lot faster than other ingredients, preventing water loss and plumping the skin. Science tells us that like attracts like. That is not like a weird Instagram like reference or anything like that. It's that oil is a non-polar molecule. So if you think about oil and water, they don't mix. It's because water is a polar molecule, meaning that it's kind of looks like a Mickey Mouse, right? And so it's heavier on one side than the other. And so it's going to attract to other molecules that are like them. It's a positively charged molecule. Not that any of that makes a difference, but oil is non-polar. It's pretty much even all around. So it's going to kind of clump together with other oils. So the oil you place on your skin is going to seek out other oil, which is the sebum that is in that middle layer in your skin. It's going to penetrate and seek that out. If you apply an oil before or after your anti-aging cream, it's going to act as like tiny little Trojan horses, tricking your skin into accepting all those other ingredients that you put on top, because your skin is going to start accepting that oil, and then whatever else is mixed in with there, it's going to take it in. So that includes your retinol, your glycolic acid, anything like that. Your skin's going to just suck it right up, and that's when it's going to get its most benefit from it. It drives those ingredients deeper down into your skin next to those fibroblasts that are collagen producing. And the beauty of that is it's going to be all without irritating the surface of your skin. I use an oil on my skin every single night, and I actually tend to use more than one. I'm going to touch on that in a minute. Different oils do different things, but they can be used to treat hyperpigmentation, discoloration, acne, dehydration, oily skin, sensitive skin, you name it. Below, I'm going to leave some info regarding what oils are historically used to treat what kind of condition, like inflammation, sensitivity, rosacea, acne, because some have antibacterial properties, some have anti-inflammation, some are super hydrating, some are more quickly absorbed into the skin than others that will remain on top. Again, guys, these are just a guideline. Nothing is set in stone. So if you have oily skin and you feel like something that's meant for more dehydrated skin works better for you, it's really going to be all about trial and error, trying to find what's the proper face cocktail for you that's going to work. I recommend, since oils can be quite an investment, to always go to Sephora, and they do offer samples. Get a few samples of different oils and bring them home and test them out on your skin to see what you like. remember this, give it some time, because just like with anything that you do to your skin, it's going to take some time to adjust. Think about it like this. Okay, so my skin is dry. When I first started using oils on my face, they just kind of sat on top, and you would think I'm dry and dehydrated that my skin would have just sucked them right up. But think about it like when it rains in the desert. I lived in Arizona for 9 years. So when it rains, that ground is so hard because it has that tough layer on the outside that the desert would flood anytime it rained. And you would think that the ground would be so dry and thirsty that it would just suck it right up, but it doesn't, unlike an area in New England or something where the ground is really grassy and covered in moss. It just drinks that right in because it's able to accept that. Because again, like attracts like. So the moisture already in your skin is bringing that down. It took a while for my skin to become conditioned to it, and now it absorbs right in. And again, if you have oily skin and you're putting oil on your face for a little while, you may look like an extra oil slick until your skin gets those signals that, oh, we already have enough lubrication, no need to produce any more. Once your skin gets used to them, I promise you will see amazing results. So I'm gonna tell you my steps at night. First, I'm gonna cleanse my skin. I use a cleanser that is not gonna strip all of my oils off of my face. I'm gonna link a video below that was the Pixie Woo sisters interviewing Sunday Reilly, and she makes perfect sense when she says, you know, your face feels good and squeaky clean for a minute, and then it feels really tight, and that's because you're getting micro cracks all in your skin because it doesn't have that proper lubrication that it needs. And so if you have acne prone skin, that bacteria that's there, you then feel a need to fix it with some lotion or something, and then you seal that bacteria in, and then you get more blemishes. And if you're dry, you've just caused all that tightness and micro cracks that are gonna start peeling. So you need to make sure that you're using a gentle cleanser. And she suggests that if you have extraordinarily dry skin, that you actually even put a few drops of oil in with your cleanser so it's not stripping away all the good stuff that you need, as well as the makeup and dirt. Then I immediately dry my face. I pat it dry because the more water on your face while you're letting it kind of evaporate, it's also drawing out the existing water you have in your face. It's evaporating. So again, since like attracts like, that water on the surface of your skin is pulling up the moisture that's in there. So you don't want to be walking around kind of letting your face air dry if you're really dry like me. Then I take a toner and I tone my face. I let that dry, and then I go in with my AHA or BHA to chemically exfoliate my skin. After that, I use my prescription strength retinoid if that's what I feel like using that day. This is where if you have a serum and you want to use that, I would use that at this time too. Then I go on with my face oil. I'm going to show you what my favorite ones are and the ones that I use every single night. First is this Codalil. This is the Polyphenol C15 Oil, and this is a detoxification oil. So what this does is it fights all those free radicals, those aging particles on your face. This neutralizes them and kind of cleanses them right off. I love this. Now, this does have a very strong herbal scent to it. I like it. I've grown to like it. At first, I was a little thrown off by it, but I really, really do like this. So I put a few drops on my fingertips and then I press it into my skin all over, and I kind of give my skin a minute to drink that in. Then I will go on with one of these next oils I'm going to show you. These are my favorite oils. These are Sunday Reilly's oils. I have it in Flora, Luna, and Juno. So Juno is the only oil in her line that contains no essential oils. I actually had to look up because I was curious why it's called an essential oil, and basically because it's all of the essence of the plant and the seed. So something like lemon is considered an essential oil, but those can be very irritating to people's faces because of the citrus in there and sometimes the fragrance in that. So this is the only oil that does not have any of those essential oils. So if you have very sensitive skin, Juno will be perfect for you. So these oils are all packed with antioxidants, which is, we talked about why that's important. This also has amino acids, omegas 3, 6, and 9, UV shields, and natural anti-inflammatory agents that help give you a really luminous, bright looking complexion. This bottle is purple on the bottom and yellow up top. However, the oil is all just yellow. This smells like oil of oregano to me, which I love that. When I'm sick, I put it under my tongue, but this does have a very strong scent to it. They will take some adjusting to, but let me explain this again. The more perfumes that are added into a product, the more collagen breakdown you're gonna have on your face because it irritates your skin, and perfume is not necessary. I would rather have them spend the money on good natural ingredients that are going to do wonders for my skin than have to take some of that out or not use the money to put another oil in to put the money of perfume in, if that makes sense. So I will take the smells. It does take a little getting used to, but it does dissipate off my face. Now all of her bottles, I'm gonna try to turn it like this so you can see. I don't know if you can see, but the dropper comes down to a perfect little point in here, like a little reservoir. So every drop of oil you will get, and when you screw this back on, the tip fits right in there. So you're not gonna have to worry about trying to dump this out and get the last bit of oil. Days I want a lighter moisturizer, I will use Juno, and if I'm really dry in the morning, I will take this and put this on the areas that are really bothering me. This is faster absorbing than the other two I'm going to talk about. If you have really acne prone skin, Artemis is aimed towards you. I don't have that, but that oil is actually the fastest absorbing out of her oils. It does have anti-inflammatory and antibacterial properties in that, so you might want to give that one a try. Next is Flora. Flora is made with 3 different types of roses: Russian, Turkish, and Bulgarian red roses. Roses are long credited with being kind of like the woman's oil because it regulates hormones. This I like the smell of. Some people may not. It's like a pure rose mixed with something else. I can't quite put my finger on it. I don't know. But this one is excellent for very mature skin that really needs that boost of moisture, as well as those with very dry skin, which clearly I have. I pretty much use this one almost every night. This oil is yellow like the other ones, but the bottle kind of makes it look a little pinkish. And the bottom of this is pink. Then the same little reservoir, really nice packaging. Next is Luna. If you're gonna get one of these oils, I would get Luna. This one has a retinoid in there, which is from what she describes in that Pixie Woo video that I'll link below. It's the sibling of retinol, which is going to give you all the good benefits without kind of tearing your skin down, because you do go through a phase where your skin is red and inflamed and peeling and itchy. But since this one is housed in an oil, the oil counteracts those and kind of goes in and soothes all of those issues. My only gripe with this oil is they did add coloring to it, and it's blue, which I don't think was necessary. I know that they're trying to get a point across that it's a nighttime oil. Nighttime because retinol can cause photosensitivity. So if you're out and if you put this on in the day and then you go outside, it can definitely make your skin more irritated. So you should always use this at night. I did read the ingredients. There is some azulene in here, but that's typically a blue color, but that's not what's making this blue. I read the ingredients and there is dye in here. It does dissipate on your skin. It doesn't change my face colors. I just would have liked it better without that. This one smells more like mint, like some kind of peppermint. I think, is it peppermint or winter mint, something like that. I can't figure out what that is that I smell. This one will do amazing things for your skin. Acne skin, dry skin, rosacea, any of those, Luna will do amazing. So a little information about the Sunday Reilly oils. They are very expensive. It is an investment. I think her cheapest oil is $90. It might be 70, but I think it's 90. And then Luna goes all the way up to 109, I believe. All of these oils come from the seeds of the plant because that's where all that life force is in them. She said when you buy a bottle, chances are about 30 days ago, that was still a seed before it was pressed. And these are cold pressed, just like juices. When you use heat and something hot that presses the juice out or kind of like blends it up, that heat really burns off a lot of those vitamins and the stuff that's good for them, and it oxidizes it. So when you're cold pressing something, no oxidation is really taking place, and so you're getting all the benefits of those vitamins and ingredients in these bottles. I do like the packaging. I mean, I can't say enough about them. They've really changed my skin since I've been using them. They've really plumped my skin. They've really helped with my dryness. You don't need all 3 of those. I would just pick one towards what your issues are and kind of stick with that. Again, I'm a skincare junkie, so I like, again, I do that kind of skin confusion I was talking about. I like to mix it up, so I don't use the same ones each night. After that, I go through and I take this Belif. This is the True Cream Moisturizing Balm. I take a dollop of this on the back of my hand. Actually, I'll show you guys right now. Since I did my makeup look, I do have some makeup on the back of my hand, but I'll just show you this really quick. So this is what I do at night. I take more than this, but since I'm just gonna rub it in on my hand, I'm not going to. I'm gonna take this fresh sea berry oil. You guys told me I needed this, and you were right, it's nice. This is the Moisturizing Face Oil with omegas 3, 6, 7, and 9. So I'm gonna take a few. If it's a big one for my face, I normally put 3 drops in, but right now I'm just gonna put 1 in, and then I emulsify this. I just mix it together, and right now I'm just gonna rub it into the back of my hands because I just wanted to show you how I do that. But this oil has a little bit of a, I call it like a peppery finish to it. But when I tell you, I put this on my face before I go to bed, and my skin has been baby soft. The good thing about this fresh sea berry oil is it's less than like a half of the cost. Even this big bottle is half the cost of one of these, and they even have another one in a smaller bottle. So this one is very moisturizing. It's not gonna do as many of the treatments as what these other, like the Luna does, but this is a great starting point. So some people have asked me too in their 20s if they need these oils. If you have problematic skin, I would, but if you just have regular, normal skin and just looking for anti-aging properties, I would just really stick with something that is moisturizing, because you don't need to invest $100 in a face oil if you don't have those issues. You do want to, you know, you want to be proactive rather than reactive, so trying to avoid the damage is really going to help. So I would say these oils, don't bother until you're in your 30s, maybe late 20s, early 30s. And again, unless you have problematic skin, I would definitely get the Luna. So from that Pixie Woo video too, if you guys don't want to watch it, I think you should. I'm gonna link the little cocktails that she says based on what your skin type is, what can really help. Again, just remember, bear with it. It's going to take your skin a little bit to adjust, and once it does, you'll be very happy. But I know even when I was starting with my retinol, oh my God, I wanted to quit because my face was so red and itchy and flaking. I could only wear mineral makeup. I hated it. But I actually have heard that people, since I totally went through the adjustment when I used this, I never had any of those issues, and I wouldn't have anyway. But I have read that people haven't said that about this on the Sephora website and just different review sites. So I hope this video has been helpful and useful. If you guys have any certain questions, please leave them in the comment section down below, and I will do my best to answer them. If you guys like this video, please remember to subscribe if you have not already. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.